Devi Priyam, Associate Professor from Department of CSC, Lakiriti Balreddy College of Engineering. Today I would like to share the concept of constructor. What is constructor? In a Java, a constructor is a block of code and the declaration of constructor is similar to the method. The rule of constructor is to assign values to the instance variable. To assign values to the instance variable that should be done by an object called that should be done by a block of code called constructor. How it can perform? It is a special type of method, if you have read this, which is used to initialize the object. Yes, used to initialize the values to the instance variables. So all these are the rules of constructor. A constructor is a special method which is used to initialize the object, which is used to initialize the values to the instance variable. How we can do this? What are the rules and regulations will be there, and what are the types of constructors also existed. If the constructor is not defined by the user developer, how it will be activated? In all the cases we can discuss step by step. Yes, it calls the default constructor if there is no constructor available in the class. If there is no constructor explicitly defined by the developer, then automatically the Java compiler itself will create a constructor that should be activated. And if no values are assigned to the instance variable, then the default values will be initialized by the default constructor. We can see the example also, and I can come to the very simple class. Again we will go to the student class. Earlier example only, student class, and each roll number, street name, and void details, system dot out dot println roll number I want. I am concatenating some space, and again I am printing name. Yes. Now create a main class demo constructor, add the public static void main of string args. Just I would like to create object. How we can create? Student s1 equal to new student class name, object reference equal to new space class name, and call the method s1 dot details. So here if you have observed in this example, we have three variables, roll number, name, two variables, and printed the details. Directly we go to the main method, and object always created from the main method, and s1 dot details. Is there any values are assigned? No. Is there any garbage values? No. So whenever we have created like this, the automatically the Java compiler, if there is no constructor explicitly will be existed in your program, then Java compiler adds a default constructor. How the constructor will be looks? The constructor is looks some rules. The constructor name is as it is class name, and it can assign a roll number. What is the type of roll number? Int. 0 will be assigned. And what is the type of name? Who will perform this? It will be performed by the Java compiler. Java compiler automatically adds the following code. When it will add, the constructor is not existed explicitly. The constructor code is not existed explicitly, then the Java compiler will add this one. What is the role of constructor? The role of constructor is which assigns the values to the, this is very important. The role of constructor is which assigns the values to the instance variables. For the instance variables, the values will be assigned. How we can define? Just I have simply added roll number as name and I didn't use any code. I have kept the code in the comments. Directly I have called the details method with a printing of roll number and name and go to the main method, create an object for the student class and call the method s1.details. If you have seen that and demo constructor dot Java, we will go to the Java C demo unclosed comment. Yes. I have executed. What is the value will be assigned? 0 or null. Even it is, you can remove this statement also. Compile. Yes, 0 or null. So what is the role of constructors? Even your program does not have any constructor, the Java compiler automatically adds some code. It will add the default constructor. What is the default constructor? Which initializes based on the type of your variables. It will initializes the value. If it is suppose I have taken boolean pass, boolean result. What is the boolean type? If you want to print the boolean also, which have the two values, the default type of boolean is false. We get yes. So who can add? All these will be, the default values will be assigned. If no constructor is existed, the default values will be assigned by the, which one? Constructor will be assigned. So it is also possible, not only a default constructor, we can also define our own constructor in the program. Okay. Now now we have an idea how the constructor will initialize. What are the rules of creating constructor? If you have seen that the constructor name must be same as class name. It is similar to the method. The signature is similar to the method, but the constructor does not have any special other names. It is having the constructor name is as it is. If you are creating a constructor for the student class, then the constructor name is student. If you are creating the constructor for the faculty class, then the constructor name is faculty. If you are constructing the for animal class, then the constructor name is animal. So same as Rules for creating the constructor. Uh, so the constructor must have same as a class name. Yes, the constructor will have the same name as a class name, and whenever a constructor is defined, there is no need of defining any explicit return type like void, int, character. That type of return types are not yet required. And a constructor can't be declared with a keywords abstract, static, final, and synchronized. That type of keywords are not allowed for the constructor. So very important rule, same as class name, and constructor does not have any explicit. If you are defining any keywords, then it will be turned into a method. So already we have seen what is the class student with this one. If I would like to add my constructor, own constructor, the constructor's name is as it is class name, and what the role of constructor initializes the values. So default values I have assigned as roll number equal to 10 and marks equal to 889.78. And okay, creation, up to creation it is okay, but how I can call the constructor? No need of any separate calling. Whenever we have created an object, if you have object new student, whenever we have created an object in this red mark color, it will automatically, if you carefully observe these statements, new student, which calls these statement, it will calls the constructor. So it will be automatically go to a code call. What is that code? Student constructor will be there. For that constructor it will be moves. Okay, now our continue with the example. So already we have written some comments. I can remove all these. How we can add the constructor? The constructor define constructor. What is the constructor's name? The constructor's name is same as class name student, and open and close. How to, what is the value we need? If you have not roll number equal to 10, default values like name equal to CSC. So this is the default values. When the constructor will be recalled, no need of create an object. Create an object, and yes, create an object, and constructor is invoked. In this step itself, no need of any separate calling. In this step itself, new student, if you have observed like this, it is like to calling student, open parenthesis and here closing with semicolon. In this step, the constructor will be called, and it will be go to this signature, and what is the value? Roll number 10 will be assigned, name CSC, and S1 dot details I have called. Now already earlier we have seen the default values 0, null, false. Now I get student spelling I have given the wrong, STUD. So that's why the compiler is unable to identify that symbol. It is giving invalid method declaration, return type required. It is considering that it is not a constructor, it is a method. Okay, now I have changed that. Now what we are expecting? We are expecting the default values. Java demo. Yes, in CSC and false. Why false will be required? Here we have assigned the only roll number at name and result not at assigned. So for that reason, it will be the result will be changed. The default value is false only. You want to change it? We can change all the three values. S10, CSC and true. So in this way we can call the constructor. And again I can recap what is a constructor. Constructor is used to create a values to the instance variable and as well as create an object. And what are the rules for constructor? Constructor's name must be same as class name. A constructor must have no explicit, no return type. A Java constructor can't be have abstract, static, final and synchronized. This is the rule for creating a constructor, and when it will be called at the time of object creation. We have actually types of constructors. Parameterized constructor is also there. I can discuss those parameterized constructor in the next class. So these are the rule number with the result. And we have defined our own constructor, students with no parameters, and initialized the values. N number of times, even you are creating one more object, student S2 equal to new student S2 dot details. For all these, again, what it create, it have called the constructor for student object. What is the things? Default values will be printed. We can check this. So this is only a default constructor, and how we can write the include the default constructor in our class. And next class I can explain how to declare a parameterized constructors. Thank you one and all.